All right. Yesterday, NNPC said the filling stations to start selling at 1,000 naira. The fuel is now 1,000 naira. So that's where we're still going to. And everybody is hoping on to Dangote now. That maybe when Dangote starts selling, even NNPC will be buying from Dangote.
So, and they said NNPC is the sole buyer.
Is the sole? Yes.
Yeah, of the Dangote PMS.
So, right now in Abuja, a protest in Abuja. There's a protest in Abuja over fuel scarcity. OG, please let me put the picture on screen. Several demonstrations in the streets of Abuja to demand the immediate dismissal of the group managing director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, over the lingering fuel scarcity. The protest came out on the heels of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited confession that a substantial debt to suppliers was endangering the sustainable fuel supply. Among other things, the corporation highlighted the financial strain was placing significant pressure on its operations and threatening the stability of fuel supplies. Chanting solidarity songs that displayed several banners such as "We are tired of fuel scarcity" and stories on why refineries are not working, "No direction under Kyari," and "We want accountability in the affairs of NNPCL." Addressing reporters on Monday yesterday at Unity Foundation after the rally in Abuja, the convener of the Coalition of Concerned Civil Society Organization, Aminu Abbas, wondered why a nation blessed with oil like Nigeria should continue to suffer acute petrol scarcity. He said, and I quote, to President Ahmed Bola Tinubu and all those in positions of power, "Will say the time to act is now. Show us that you stand with the people, not those who profit from our misery." Mr. Kyari must be shown the way out and the NNPCL must be reformed to serve the interests of all Nigerians. We will not be silent. The fuel scarcity we endure today is not just a mere inconvenience, it is a calculated perpetuation of suffering under Mr. Kyari's leadership. The situation has gone from bad to worse with no end in sight. What has he done to alleviate this crisis? It is clear it seems intent on maintaining a status quo that benefits only a selected few while the masses suffer. Why do we, the people, have to endure endless queues, inflated prices, and the daily uncertainty of whether we can fuel our vehicles or power our homes? The answer lies in the gross incompetence and mismanagement that have become the hallmarks of Mr. Kyari's leadership. End of quote. So I throw the baton to Mr. Fatuke because you've worked in that sector before. What do you think is happening? Now, fuel is being sold at 1,000 naira per liter, and you know if NNPC is selling at 1,000 naira per liter, then other filling stations will start selling at 1,700, 1,500, 1,600. I was still complaining of 900 naira on the set yesterday. What exactly is happening? Kyari should be shown the way out as the Abuja protesters are demanding for, or this is more than Kyari?
Very much more than Kyari. And the truth of the matter is that Nigeria has been run to the ground. The NNPC has been in jaga. That's the language. And it did not start with Bola Tinubu. Okay, all right. So I have to be very careful that I don't throw in.
Who is the minister of petroleum, sir?
Bola Tinubu is the minister, but it did not start with him.
Yeah, I know.
So the point is that we have not told ourselves the truth, and we shy from the truth. Those who are leading and those who are being led, NNPC has been a cash cow all through. I think the way we are at now, maybe the NNPC should be scrapped because it's not there to do the kind of biddings now. The Yorubas have a saying that they put it this way: God of fear, the leper. You want to cure leprosy, and then you are looking for some other things that will not grow. We need to get to the cruise of the problem. The Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration has not helped, has not told itself the truth, and still not telling ourselves the truth. For a long time, when you say you have a hope agenda, the first thing you need to do is go out there and say the truth. Even if along the line you find yourself, either because you have not looked at properly, you got in there and you found that what you had said or what you intend to say or you intend to take people to is going to now be much more difficult, you come back as a leader and open up and say the truth. So, beyond the politics, if we are looking at the NNPC that we are talking about now, we are saying that fuel is going to sell for about 1,000 naira. I've said it, I think I said it about 10 years ago. Seriously. I also said it about 15 years ago. The Nigerians should tighten their seatbelts. We are in for a rougher ride. We are talking about 1,000 naira. The way things are going and the lies we are being told that we are not paying subsidy, we are not paying subsidy. The books of NNPC have been audited. We made trillions of naira in profit. Suddenly you come back and say it's not a logistic problem that you have, it's not an FX problem that you have, it is now that you have dragged up debt. So everything is just right. And Tessie, you are right on there, asking me that question, that who is the Minister of Petroleum? Whether it's been done bad in times past, you get in there and you say you want to be the Minister of Petroleum. Minister of Petroleum doing what? With what knowledge, if not to continue to try and perpetrate? Are we looking at the board that have been set up? Are we having technocrats? Are we really serious as a nation? So the way out of it, now we are talking about petroleum. I know we'll be talking about education. Maybe next tomorrow we are going to be talking about health and all that. When you put all together, economy, food security, insecurity, just name it, our democracy. High time, I think Mr. President, in all humility, should come back and listen to, take it or leave it, listen to the patriots. We need to get back and recalibrate Nigeria. It is not working, and it's not about Bola Tinubu, and it will have been any other person. Maybe it will have been done a bit differently with his show of face. The Bola Tinubu that I'm seeing and his government are not being very truthful, have been too expensive, and it's like, let me have mine, let me just do what I need to do. You can go continue to wallow in poverty. That can't be leadership. That can't be the kind of leadership that I expect, that I want. I want serious, sober reflection and discipline for all arms of government. Some of the things that come out of other arms of government are not very helpful. And people now protested and said we are hungry. And then the next thing that we are hearing is that we are going to be charged for one thing. Even if it is true, but the perception of the kind of life that you are also living with your family is not helping. So may the Lord help us. I know you are now in China, and you are going to be signing some 5 MOUs, a couple of other ones that you have signed. But when your house is not in order, it's dirty, and then you want to bring a Cadillac in there, you know how it's going to look. It's going to look horrible. Very, very horrible.
All right, Vera, what do you think?
Well, for me, I will start by saying, which way Nigeria, which way to go. Remember the late Sonny Oko's song. I'm not seeing end in sight. I'm not seeing solutions solved. I'm not even having the view that, there's a way people will run government and you say, okay, there's a short term and a long term plans down. I'm not seeing it, nothing. I think that when we say, I love what Patuke said, and I honestly appreciate him this morning for just saying it as it is. We have gotten to that stage. No politicking. This is where we're at now, and we'll begin to look at way forward, prefer solutions, and that's what we should begin to look at now. If they can listen and begin to take point and say, okay, let's go back to the drawing board and see how we can fix Nigeria. Nigeria needs a quick fix now. We don't want to collapse with this kind of system. I'm not part of those that will say he didn't start from now. I will not accept that it didn't start from now. We all knew there was a problem. It's just like an incoming president coming in. There's already a problem. We have the PMS issues down now. There's a problem. We cannot pretend that we don't know there's a problem. You're coming in there to fix problem or problems. That's why people are saying, okay, go in there and help out. Now you went in there and it's becoming worse off. A lot of people have prophesied. Why I'm saying prophesied, they've seen that there's nothing that will come out of it. At the end of the day, the petrol is going to be for 1-2. People are speculating that with what they are seeing on ground. You know, coming to 1,000 at this time, taking for NNPC to be selling, and NNPC, honestly, they're not truthful. What they said 2 weeks ago isn't what we're saying today. You know, when people begin to be slippery with their statements, how can you trust such a government? So all the blame will go to the head of the country. If your people, the people you put in place, are not doing something well, and if people come out to say, hey, we don't want to accept, if they're saying, hey, we don't want to accept that, you know, and you want to put them in prison, there's freedom of, look at the Constitution, there's freedom of speech. Why would you now begin to say nobody can protest? In fact, when people protest like this, it is when the government will sit down to say, oh, things are not going well, how can we fix it? But if you're now trying to box up people together, put your siblings, you must keep quiet, you're not helping anything. You want to tell me now that we will now start buying fuel if NNPC is selling for 1,000, and NNPC is also telling us they are the sole buyer of Dangote refinery, that we're talking about an individual refinery. It's not even a government one. Are they saying we're going to just condemn our other refineries in Nigeria? Meanwhile, if you look at the budget, what is going for fixing our refineries, there are monies that are being budgeted for. Are they going to, who is with the money? Are they going to allow people siphon the system and just allow people keep quiet? This isn't working. And please, Mr. President, you need to help us out. It's not that they're saying you're not working at all. You're not working at all because we are not seeing what you're working. We want to feel and see it.
The president is working, but it is not working.
I don't understand that.
The president is working, but it's not working.
This lady is the situation has made Tessie to begin to speak in other languages. I don't know if that's is it
the president is working, but the work that he's working is not working.
So that means it's not working now.
It's working, but it's not working.
Let's say that it is right now. Tessie, how are we going to do fuel? Do you know how much engine oil is costing now? Do you know how much commercial buses are taking? The transportation we take, do you know how much it's going for? If NNPC is buying, this same NNPC. I like what Mr. Fox said. He said, if we need to scrap NNPC. But the sad thing about Nigeria is one big person out there will buy it and begin to treat Nigerians anyhow. So we also need that NNPC there, but this system isn't working. You cannot wake up one morning and lie to us 2 weeks ago and say the reason for all of this is this. And this other day, they lied again 2 days ago, and today we are here. They've come up to say we're not going to be buying for 1,000 naira. This country isn't working.
The president is working, but it is not working. Vina, what do you think?
That's it. I feel like knocking you.
Honestly, I am with Tessie on this one, and I want to quickly add something to what Mr. Fatik said when he said if APC has to be dissolved, let it be dissolved. I want to add not only APC, PDP too should join because there's no difference.
Yeah. It's the same people that matter.
It's the same thing. There's no difference.
PDP and APC are not the same.
And the fact that they are protesting in Abuja, I think that protest should come back to Lagos.
Don't forget to add Labour and NNPC.
All the parties should be crushed.
Political system.
They are all shame of shame.
Because it's like they are not ashamed of what they are doing. Because it's beginning to stink. No, it's the truth. Everything begins to stink. How can NNPC be selling fuel for a liter 1,000?
I don't understand.
No, let's look at it 1,000. Then you say they should be the sole buyer of Dangote. No, that's uncalled for. And I just think they're beginning to just take us for, I don't want to use the word fool, but
for granted.
Exactly. I think they're just beginning to take us for granted, because it just seems like everybody just wakes up one morning and they begin to say what they think should be said. They do not put the feelings of the citizens into contemplation. They do not even think if at all it is human beings that they are governing. Probably just think that, okay, this is how I feel, this is how I want it to be. Maybe I'm running low on this, I'm running low on that. Let's do it like this. It's uncalled for. Honestly, I just feel they're not just being sensitive right now. They are not. And that protest shouldn't just only remain in Abuja. I believe it should also come to Lagos, because if you look
you want to go to Kuje because they are harassing the people.
Did you get to Maryland? Did you see the queue?
Are you talking about of Maryland?
No, because that's where I applied. Did you see the queue? I was shaking my head. So everybody,
the two filling station on that queue,
both of them. So where one is ending, the other queue is starting. And I'm like, so everybody there, they all stand. They don't have where to go. They don't have businesses.
Businesses are.
Do you understand?
Collapsing.
No, it's bad.
It's the Bumper Breakfast Show, and we're talking about what is happening in our own country. I don't know what is happening in your country, but for Nigeria, we are speaking for ourselves. We know what is happening in our country. So we've been talking about what is happening in our country. And right now, Vera has been saying you don't want to go to Kuje prison. If you protest, now I'm going to give you the story. But I want us to follow the story, not emotionally. Let's look at it from two different perspectives. Now, the federal government on Monday arraigned 10 #EndBad governance protesters who had been arrested in, I want you to know the states, not in Lagos states. Because during the #EndBad governance protest, it was peaceful in Lagos state.
Yeah.
But some parts of the north, we saw some people flying Russian flags. And we on this table, we condemn it. We condemn them that why will you be flying Russian flags? And now they have been arraigned. Abuja, the people that have been arraigned are from Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, and Gombe. Those 4 states. We don't have any Lagosian there. Okay. And Gombe before a federal high court in Abuja. The defendants were arraigned on a 6-count charge bordering on alleged treason, intent to destabilize Nigeria, conspiracy to commit felony, and inciting to mutiny, which is said to be an offense punishable under Section 97 of the Penal Code. The defendants are equally accused of leveling war against the states to intimidate the president by attacking and injuring police officers and burning police stations. The I complex, the NCC complex, the Kano printing press, the Kano government house, and several other buildings. All 10 protesters in the suit mark FHC ABJCR 45-2024 pleaded not guilty to the charge to the 6 counts filed against them while taking their place before the presiding judge, Justice Emeka Nwite. And the defendants are Michael Tobiloba, Adara Moye, aka Lenin, Adeyemi Abiodun Abayomi, aka Yomi, Sulaiman Yakubu, Comrade Opaluwa, Eleojo Simon, Angel Innocent, Buhari Lawal, Monsieur Sadiq Bashir Bello, aka Motala, Nuruddin Kamis, and Abdul Salam Zubairu. The arrested protesters had fulfilled the court order that permitted their arrest and detention, telling President Bola Tinubu that he had no right to arrest them. The protesters in a suit marked challenging August 22, 2024 Federal High Court order issued by Justice Emeka Nwite that permitted the Inspector General of Police to remand them for 60 days pending the conclusion of the investigation on their cases. The protesters in an affidavit deposed to by one Paul Ochayi maintained that protest is a right, and in fact, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, had led protests in the past without being harassed, detained, or remanded. They contended that by the actions of the security agencies, their right to life, the dignity of the human person, health and freedom of movement have been put under threat and violated by the police without any justification. The applicant, Comrade Opaluwa Eleojo, and 48 others in a motion on notice 5 on August 26 sued the Inspector General of Police as the sole respondent in the suit through a consortium of lawyers led by human rights lawyers, Femi Falana. The application and the motion on notice obtained by our correspondent on Saturday argued that the motion expert on which the remand was approved was predicated on suppression and misrepresentation of material fact. They contended that the motion expert constitutes a gross abuse of the count process, asking the court to set aside this charge and or vacate the expert order that approved their remand in prison for 60 days. They also sought an order from the court to grant them bail, and these people have been remanded for 60 days in the prison in Abuja. And Vera has been shouting since that if you protest, you're going to be Kuje prison.
But there are two things, you said two things. Yeah, you said two things. Let's look at it and let's be fair and not be biased about when you're handling issues. Yeah. First, before you do protest, you write a letter, to the IG, copying the Commissioner of Police. Depending on where you want to do it, maybe write to the Commissioner of Police. The question is, I don't know if that was done in their case. If it's not, it means whatever you see, you see. Then, but if that was done, they have the right. Everybody might not just go and say we want to protest, but we are all feeling what we're feeling. And people have right to say, even children in their home has right to say, Mommy, that's enough. It's too much. Sometimes kids, they do that. So then the parents will now react, what's wrong with this child? So you are now an adult to talk to your mother or your father this way. But somehow parents has a way of managing that situation. And that's where I'm going to. I think the federal government needs to really manage this situation we are in, because I'm not saying people should violate. I'm not saying people should violent about it. When you're protesting, it should be a peaceful one. I don't believe in people hijacking protests or burning or destroying things. No. But you have right to say, hey, enough is enough. We are commending Leon Jericho. For how long are they going to do it? For months now, they didn't do it. So I'm commending them because I was a part of, I went to buy things and I saw that it was cheaper, was quite cheap for me. The president needs to listen more and take action. This 1,000 naira per liter from NNPC will not help anybody. If they are doing 1,000, it means we're going to be buying fuel for 1.5. It means everything will go high, skyrocket. Just everything, even the pen you use in writing, you might not be buying it again for 50 naira, 100 naira. So I think government needs to look at what they're doing and please fix this country fast.
Akifatoke, what do you think?
I think,
in a nutshell, please.
We need to face the truth. It's not about Bola Tinubu. I have to also say that Bola Tinubu came and took a decision that was going to try and fix Nigeria. In the process, so many things went off the hinges. Nigeria is not working. We can't continue to borrow, whether it's the NLC, whether it is Tessie, whether it's Vera, whether it's Fina, whether it is me. We must all come to brass tacks that the way things are should not be. Yes, we should point at Bola Tinubu because we are not seeing the kind of exemplary leadership, the kind of character. Well, I like to say the kind of competence, I like to say the kind of compassion that we need to see, what goes beyond him. Nigeria is not working, and because Nigeria is not working, what President Bola Tinubu needs to invoke is now to listen more to the patriots, like I've suggested. Let everybody come together. Let's take a decision about Nigeria. We go our different ways loosely and decide what we are going to put in the center. That constitution is not working. Pointing and saying Bola Tinubu should try and bring down fuel price, we are also trying to deceive ourselves. The refineries have not been working, have been run to the ground. It's not been virtually all this SDG 17. There are Sustainable Development Goal 17, all of them are showing red. So it's not about Bola Tinubu per se. Yes, but he has to show the gauntlet, and we all have to also take a decision to follow him. And I see opposition all coming together. We want to do this. Okay, maybe they've learned their lessons, the lesson they refused to learn before the last elections. All politicians are the same, whether it's Labour, whether it's NPP, whether it's PDP, whether it's APC, whether it's Shore's party. Just name them. Everybody is looking for, just get to the center. And once you get to the center, then you begin to now look like the big D, what you call it, the dummies. Nigeria is not working, I repeat. And the only way in the short term is for Mr. President to begin to show good example. He should lead us by real personal examples. He should unravel the constitution that is not working. Listen to the compatriots, to the patriots. The patriots came, and I was glad that he took them in. But he said his priority is about the economy. You cannot fix the economy where you have this united Nigeria, where we have tribe and we have tongues that are not really united, and begin to set the right priorities. That happened in Rwanda. Take it or leave it. They decided that rather than to face the front this way, let's face backwards. And they started finding their rhythm. They are not necessarily out of the woods when it comes to the kind of Western type democracy, but we can fashion something for ourselves. Nigerians are very resilient. Nigerians are very creative, but we don't need the constitution that puts the federal, the states, local governments. We are all just turning round and round like Chiababa, and all that. My 2 pence. Let's accept the fact that this is not going to work. It's not going to work. It doesn't matter who is at the center of affairs. If we continue with this constitution and we continue with our mindset, let's all gather together and say yes. Let's relook. Let's rethink Nigeria so that Nigeria can get into better and winning ways. Thank you.
All right, Vina.
Okay, I think what I'll just say is let the federal government just come out and tell us the problem. Let us know the problem. Let every Nigerian tighten their seatbelt. I want us to get to a point whereby the citizens can trust the government again, where there will be a point where government will say something and we will be like, yes, that is actually the truth. You understand? Let there be truth in our country once more. Enough of all this sabotage, enough of all this backstabbing and everything. It's enough. Enough is enough. Government, come out, tell us what exactly the problem is, and I trust Nigerians. There is no amount of how will I call it now? There's no amount of obstacle you want to say, the problem that you will put before us that we cannot actually level if we actually come together. So I just want them to put it out there and let us know that this is what we are facing. And I know that Nigerians will tighten their seatbelt, and it's just a matter of time we will overcome it. So let there be trust in our nation once more.
All right, and above all, they do say that the tunnel is so dark, but at the end of it, there's always a light. I believe Nigeria is going to be great again.
Amen.
And I strongly believe that if we, the citizens, can work on ourselves and stop the greed, stop the hate, stop the violence, stop the beef, and let's work in love, let's be united. United we stand, they say, and divided we fall. That is why we are fallen. But only if we can be united, definitely, we're going to stand back again. We are the giant of Africa. Nigeria is still the giant. Despite all what we are going through, we are strong people. I'm telling you, even at the rate of 1,000, you still see people buying this fuel. Nigeria will buy and they will still smile. Reason Fela said, suffering
and smiling.